Hello, welcome back to another exciting episode of Mind Body TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. I am so excited to have you here, and I'm going to be talking today about how your electromagnetics, your vibration affects your relationship. So share where you're tuning in from, comment below. I would love to hear from you. How did you find the broadcast? How did you find this work? Have you been here for a while? Are you new? Welcome. I am a physician who is really have always been profoundly interested in the metaphysics, meaning that which governs the physical. So the metaphysical is this whole realm that really hasn't been understood by many people or by the centralized medical perspective. But we are, in fact, electromagnetic. We are made of energy and frequency, always changing and impacting everyone and everything around us. So it's really, really powerful when we remember we are an electromagnetic force field. And it can allow us to have an impact on our body, on others around us, and like anything going on in our lives. So one of the main points of our lives that can create huge stress or huge fulfillment is our relationships. And so when we remember we're a force field, it's really such a high vantage point where we can impact our relationships in a conscious way. Napoleon Hill talks about like you're carrying around this force field in your mind. Your mind is a force field. It's electrons, it's electromagnetic, and that you will influence, impact, connect with others, either in a way that's like a clash and discord, or, oh my gosh, harmony, amazing, I'm in love. And you'll know and you'll feel that. Now, some people are very energy sensitive and they'll feel the discord or like the emotions, irritability, anger, anxiety. But sometimes we're really not as tuned in energetically, and we'll just be aware of the results, like the chaos and the drama, or maybe the abuse, or something that's overtly happening in the physical level. That's fine. It's all an outpicturing of that electromagnetic mix, what's happening when these two minds intermingle. And so you can look to your relationships to get feedback about what you're holding in your system. So there's two things I wanted to share with you about this. And one is like how to let that feedback grow you, because it's just feedback. And it doesn't mean you stay in that relationship and like force it to work and just keep changing and changing. It means that you consider that, but that you're willing to look at like, what am I holding that's creating discord in my life that this person is triggering? Is there anything for me to address? Because I do always want to grow. Or what can I do to really honor myself to allow more harmony in my life? Like it might not be about changing something in myself, but changing something in the relationship or leaving the relationship. And so you got to get curious. Curiosity is a really high vibe, high vibration, and your brain will think differently. You will conceive of new ideas, inspirations, awarenesses when you go to curiosity. So have you had struggle in your relationships? Have you had like one big relationship that's like, oh, this one thing, or like maybe a lot of relationships in general, or maybe sequentially over time, like, well, keep having this trauma happen over and over, or there's like always these narcissistic people in my life. You really want to pay attention to this. So how does this land for you? What questions do you have? Is this of interest? Have you heard of this concept before, that you are vibration and frequency, you are electromagnetic, or is this very new? And tell me how it lands. All right. So I heard my husband share on an Instagram live about this. And there's like a backstory I have that came up for me. So he talked about how, our relationships are a mirror. He's at Alive Partner, by the way, in Instagram at Alive Partner. And he's awesome, sharing really, really just like pretty conscious stuff about taking ownership in your relationships to make major changes. So worth listening to. And he shared how instead of like labeling, oh, I can't stand this person, they're so, like every time we label or talk negatively about a person we're in some kind of relationship with, we're really damaging ourselves. We're actually making it harder for ourselves. And now we're carrying that like low vibe of the judgment or the like talking trash. And so we want to actually change that. And he talked about having gratitude for maybe some little nugget of that person that you could see. So maybe this person's like, no, 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 they're bad to the bone. But you're like, well, they are really good at math, or I don't know, they have nice hair. Something you could find, because you might need to get creative, that you could appreciate about that person, even if it's like in the past. Well, there was a time when they did this really nice thing for me. Find it, because it changes your frequency in relationship to them. And that changes your electromagnetic force field, really, like immediately and instantly. And it will actually change your relationship with them, where these people will either leave your life if they're like harmful, toxic, abusive, or change, like miraculously change, that you're like, who didn't imagine that could happen. You'll see miracles happen. So you start to be grateful. What can I make a list of 10 things? And he will tell me, like, for every complaint you make about a person, you got to say 10 things positive about that to rebalance your relationship, or you're going to keep creating the negative. And it's a great exercise. And so what I thought of when he shared this on the broadcast in Instagram I was listening to was a relationship I had long ago, actually my first marriage, and how when I was dating that person, there was so much turmoil and challenge and like chaos and hardship, and but I didn't want to just go to judgment or like put that person down or be angry. And I remember doing this exercise where I would do my gratitude. What are all the things I'm grateful? This and this and this and this and this and this. And when I was listening to the broadcast with Mario, my husband, I thought, well, that didn't really help me out, because look what I did. I sort of like overlooked all the negativity and just like kept, trying to be positive about this person. And then I married, that person, and it was a pretty abusive relationship that ultimately, I chose to leave. And then the next awareness I had was, Kim, it did work for you. You needed to go through it. You weren't ready for it to resolve at that time, because see, I was still in a program of I don't deserve love. So still resonating at the frequency of like, oh yeah, just like treat me like crap because I should be treated like that, because I should improve myself. It was like one big self-improvement program, this marriage. And I needed to have that learning. Like, it's not always true for all of us, but like the experience brings the learning, the experience brings the growth, the experience brings the healing and the electromagnetic shift. And I am a different person at a very foundational level, that I would never compromise myself like that. But if I had just like left that relationship, screw them, that's a bad person, I'm not going to find a way to be grateful because I need to protect myself from this person, and walk away, I would have just got into another relationship doing the same thing. I wouldn't have actually got the learning. So that was like the miraculous thing I got out of that, watching that broadcast on a live partner, and just seeing what in myself needed to be resolved. Because what I did realize was, you did heal that relationship that led to you leaving the relationship, and actually led to me being effortlessly free. Like, the doors were open, the clarity was there. There was no doubt, there was no questioning. I got my own house, I got my own life. It was like instant that the doors were open, the red carpet was laid. I walked out and my life was free. And I honestly think if I had done that even a year sooner, I would not have been complete. It wouldn't have been grounded through and through my system to the degree of learning that I really needed to go and create loving relationships. And so through that gratitude, I went through the process of resolution. Did it happen instantaneously? No. Did it happen the way I would have liked it to happen sooner? Yeah, it didn't. Did it happen the way it needed to for my highest and best? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, it did. And, that took an extra few years, but now I've had decades of power and freedom as a result, like increased power and love in my life. And so that's a really great exercise to do, is like find the gratitude and the appreciation. And remember, like, it is always serving you. You don't need to clamp down and protect yourself and like, I'm going to leave, right? If you leave, but it's in rejection, it's not the same thing as freedom. And so like you'll find a woman who's like abused and like just can't get away. It's like they'll try to leave and they come back, or they can't leave because there's no resources, or like it will keep you stuck. When you resolve what's within you, the self-abuse, it's an unconscious thing. The door's open and you will have the resources, and it might be scary, but you will find your way through to leave an abusive relationship or something that's really not for your highest and best. Or you will see the relationship transform before your eyes. You'll see that person change. You'll see yourself change. I have this experience every day. I had a challenge with my husband that kind of surfaced. It's something that's maybe been there for a long time, and it really surfaced, and I was like fired up. So I did some work on this to look at what would it take for me to really stand in my wholeness and release whatever this is in me. And so I sort of gave him all his energy back, and I allowed myself to just see him in his highest and the wonderful person that he is. And kind of the same practice he was saying in the video of like, find what you're grateful for. So I let the anger release. And then what came through was this real compassion and a feeling of like, what do I want? How would I like this to be, with the connection and the authenticity and the connection and like compassion. And the very next day, he sent me this note and said, I'm so grateful for you in my life, for speaking your truth in a way that really awakens me, because I know having a partnership is a mirror, and I truly am on board for my own awakening. And when you share what you feel or speak your truth, it always really helps me. And I'm grateful, even though the ego doesn't always like it, that I have you. And it was like, oh, thank goodness there's like even more opening now and connection, and like exactly what I wanted. So it was pretty powerful, and how quickly a relationship can change when you change. And so if you remember Napoleon Hill, and he's talking about you're an electromagnetic force field, how can I shift the electromagnetic force field of my mind, which is always about coming into a higher frequency, right? Just love and compassion for yourself with how imperfect you are, lets the discharge of the lower frequencies just they just release. So trust that. Trust that it happens for you when you go to gratitude. Okay, I'm grateful that I'm seeing this, even though it's painful. Or I'm grateful that I even have this person in my life that is, that I'm so mad at, that like even cares to be in a relationship with me at all. So sometimes you have to dig deep. Sometimes there's a lot of really big things, but that is a really powerful way to move the electromagnetics. And if you're really, really in a low vibe and really angry and really, just honor that you're noticing it. That's appreciation. Wow, I appreciate how deep and dark this is and how impossible it seems that I'll ever release this and have something better. Right? That's appreciation. And so just being with what's there. That's why when I work with people live, it's embracing health, not let's fix your health and let's get to work. We're going to allow the dissolution, because you are more powerful than that. Your body does heal itself, and your mind and body are connected. And so whatever is happening within you is impacting what's happening in your life. So you literally can change any circumstance, like a stuck circumstance that's causing like mental, emotional discord or negativity. You have the ability to transmute that. And that's really what we're doing in this work. So stay tuned, tune in. We'll be here each week live at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on Wednesdays for Mind Body TV in the Mind Body community, and on my YouTube channel at Dr. Kim Duramo. Like the video, give us a thumbs up, share this with someone you love, and subscribe. Our community is growing. This work is being strengthened. This awakening is happening, and it's happening within you. It's happening cellularly. It's happening electromagnetically. You are awakening to the intelligence, the divine intelligence that created you and continues to move through you. And if, like me, you are part of this creation of a conscious medical system where we bring true modalities for healing, not a centralized, authoritarian, hierarchical system, but like a true healing system. If you didn't see my video a couple of weeks ago on the history of medicine. Watch that. It will change the way you see everything. You are a creator. No one can control you. You can give them the permission, consciously or unconsciously, and you can take it back and be a conscious creator. And so if you are here to be a part of that conscious system and create modalities for healing, share modalities for healing, really assist people at the root of what's kept so many sick or stuck or in turmoil or situations they can't see their way through, as a coach or a healer or a doctor who actually wants to do something more expansive, or someone who maybe you're not even in that field, but you're aware like that sure would be awesome to be a healing presence for others. Stay tuned, because I'm creating a certification in mind body medicine to begin to be a powerful healing force field, to begin to use this in your work with others, whether you've already established something or not. And so message me, reach out at support@drkimd.com if that resonates with you, because we're growing this program and there's so many more people really here to be a part of this conscious medical system, decentralized, right? It comes from within our individual selves, connecting with the wisdom, and it will be created, and it will be exponentially more powerful than anything we've seen created yet. So I'm so grateful and thankful to be here and connecting on that. You can go to drkimd.com, and we have a quiz that was created. It's an all new quiz to really learn about your electromagnetics and have these tools to change them immediately. So it's a free tool. It will guide you in how your system may be living in the program of like fight or flight and closure and sympathetic nervous system, which is only going to create more lack and more limitation and more illness and more fear and anxiety and just keep you stuck. And we'll show you one of three main ways you can begin to unwind that in your system right now. So go to drkimd.com to take the quiz. Let me know what you think of it. And my second book, Be Your Own Healer, is about to come out. So make sure to go to drkimd.com/BYOH book to get your copy right now. We are so excited to be launching this. We're so excited to be sharing this with the world. It really shares about your electromagnetics and how do I consciously raise my frequency no matter what is going on. And so more on that. Stay tuned next week. The book is ready, and so you can get your copy of Be Your Own Healer book. I'm so excited to see what you think. Please leave a review, share it with others. Stay tuned for next week for another exciting episode of Mind Body TV. Comment what came up for you during this episode. What do you think about your relationships? What's one thing you would love to deeply shift about your relationship or relationships? I would love to hear from you and hold space for that miracle showing up for you, because you are powerful and you're a creator. So much love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you next week.